Alright, what we have here is a laser cut stainless steel template of the top of a Thorens TD165, which you see there. I'm going to be removing the top plate there. As everyone knows, or probably knows, in the Thorens world, that these the top plates are not very good on these TD165. So what I do when I upgrade, this is going to be my third turntable that I'm upgrading. Right now, I have it in the spare red plinth that I had done previously. That's not the plinth that's actually going to reside in. It's actually going to go into this plinth, but it will be done in blue, unlike the previous red one that I did. And that's basically in keeping with my attempt to match up with my British flag draped quad 44 preamp and red quad 303 power amplifier. The preamp I call my AP edition, or the Austin Powers, because kind of looks like the Jaguar, I guess, in the Austin Powers movies. Anyway, I've already done the red, and I think the red in that system would be too much because I've already got a red amp. So I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum of the British flag and go with a blue turntable. So I've got my wrap here. I'll be wrapping this. And likewise, like I did with my other red, I call it turntable number 2, I've got this beautiful shiny top plate that I got from a Thorens admirer who sent it to me, and I'm very appreciative of it. So what I'll be doing is I'll be wrapping that in with a carbon fiber wrap that I've cut here, and it makes it look really, really nice. And then that will be the top plate on top of that, so I'll be removing that with a heat gun. And then we'll match that with the blue plinth, and it should look beautiful. So this is my sort of first update as I proceed on this project. And there are other issues that I need to address, most notably the counterweights for the anti-skate system on the TP11 arm. I just have a bunch of nuts right now tied to a very thin monofilament line, but I'm actually sourcing an actual set of weights because I want to have it as original and not bakshi. And then of course I'll be using the proper head shell, which I've got here, and I've got the top part is off right now. So once we get that all set up, we'll be probably seeing what kind of interest there is for it out there. If not, I think it'll go real well with my system. So there you go. Just a little sit rep on the turntable. I've taken the old plate off, and I'll probably sell that on eBay. It's still pretty good. And I've got the stainless steel cover that's made to measure. It was CNC cut, I believe. And I've got that now installed. And what I'm doing now... Oh yeah, that's because what I've done here is I've taken off the springs, so it's obviously dropped down on this side, and I've washed it. And what I'll do is I'll put the spring in a baggie of talcum powder, and what you want to do is find the soft side, which is that side, and I believe you put that in towards the middle. I'll have to double check that. And then basically we'll do that for all 3 springs and get it up to snuff, and then readjust the springs. I've opted out of using the wrap. You can see the wrap over here. I tried to skin it once, and it's not a very good wrap. It actually marks a lot. So what I've done is I've gone a different direction, and I've gone to paint. So I've painted it navy blue to match my quad 44, and also the fins. You can't really see the blue. Well, I guess you can in this light. And I'm actually going to change this front part, the fins here, to white, or sorry, to blue, and then do a white face to match that, which will mean I'll have to disconnect some of the front connectors there, take that out, and then change the color of the faceplate to white. That'll be cool. Anyway, so here we go. We're in the process of getting it all fixed up. There's all my spare parts. I won't be using the lime green. We'll be making a blue one of those to match the turntable. And there you go. I've got the turntable mostly assembled now, and I've just adjusted the springs. And what I've done is I usually go around and make sure it's the same height all the way around from the top of the top plate. And in this case, given there's about a 5 mil space on the bottom, I go up to 1 mil. So it's like about 6 mils off the top plate, and lo and behold, it works every time. It just acts like a piston. Just works perfect. And then it just sits there and bounces for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds at least. So I think I've got it all tuned up. So what I'll do is I'll go underneath, and where you had the blue Loctite on the bolts, what I do is I just use fingernail polish. I just have red because that's what my daughter had, and it works great. So what it'll do is it'll lock those springs into position, and now I've got a really good. I've got the tone arm more or less balanced, so it doesn't really affect it. And there you go. It is well balanced. And you can see the navy blue paint job. And then of course what I'll be doing is I'll be putting a nice Thorens logo on the front. And I'll be dressing it up a little bit more, putting a nice little top cover on it. And it should look quite beautiful. So, still a little more to go. I got some parts to order, like the proper counterweight, and I do have the top here. I just can't find it right now, so we'll find that. And then, of course, I've got to put labeling here for the up, down, and for the 33, 45, and 0 speed. And I've got little caps to put on here, and I'll dress those up in nice blue color as well. And then I'll get, I'm looking at getting a blue, I'll make a blue dust cover similar to this one. I had tried for the red one. I kind of botched this one, but I know where I went wrong, so I should be able to do it no problem. And then that will become the dust cover for the turntable. So it's coming together. Still lots more work to do, but looking forward to it. What I failed to note was when you balance your turntable and you want to get it in the perfect sprung condition, like I've got it here. I've already Loctited the bolts and everything. You want to make sure that you've got everything that's on it that's going to be on it weight-wise. So in this case, I use a weight for maintaining speed consistency, and it's also got a nice little bubble on the top to tell you whether your turntable is balanced or not. I put this one's just a crappy record, but you put a record on that represents the weight of most of the records that you'll play. Of course, you have 180 gram and the old conventional records. So there's not much you can do about that, but what I do is I go by conventional because 180 gram is not the majority of my collection. And then your platter mat, and of course, in this case, I've got the 45 adapter underneath as well, plus your head shell, plus your counterweight, because that's all riding on the suspension. And you want to make sure that when you tune your springs, that you're actually tuning it in the all-up configuration that you'd be playing it. Because if I tuned it without all of this stuff and then I added the weight, then it's going to change the characteristics of the suspension system. So, there you have it, fully tuned, ready to go.